Let's go. All right, here we go. Bang, mock draft. Let me just change up my notes here real quick. Tim, what are you thinking before we go into this mock draft real quick? Of all the mock drafts we've done lately, is there anything you feel like we came up short on? Should we key in on something a little different? I feel like we've let the board kind of come to us, but what's your initial thoughts before we get in this mock draft, man?
Trenches.
Got it. Got it, man. Unless Ted McMillan falls, right?
Right. There you go.
Or Colston Loveland, or just name a few others. All
sure.
right, let's do it, boys. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and crank this thing up. Here we go. And I'd like to scroll back if we could and just see who was taken. All right, we got us a trade offer. They're offering us.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No.
They're wanting a 23rd pick for us to trade back to the third to pick up a third, 2 fourths, and a second rounder next year. No, sir.
Is there another one? Let's see.
This one's trading for the first as well, down to 34, and picking up 2 third-rounders from the Giants.
2 thirds, though. That's intriguing.
Let me scroll through and make sure there ain't a better offer here. There's trading back.
What?
Look at this.
What?
Trading back 5 spots, but picking up an extra second. Bro. All right.
Now, who is Detroit going to take with our 23rd pick?
I don't know, man. So
someone will regret probably.
So here's the 2 best offers here, okay? We can trade back from 23 to 34. Chat, you got to go quick, man. Got to go quick. We got 2 chats here, okay? Let us know which – you got 2 trades. Let us know which trades you want us to take here. So we're trading the 23rd pick for the 34th pick in the second round, which is essentially, the second pick of the second round. But we pick up a third rounder at pick 65, a third rounder at pick 99, a fifth rounder at pick 154, a seventh rounder at 246, and then a seventh rounder in 2026. So essentially we're trading out of the first to the second to pick up 2 extra thirds. So we would end up with 2 second rounders and 3 third rounders.
This seems like we're living in La La Land. This doesn't seem like something that's going to happen.
Don't think the Giants would do it?
Yeah. Well, maybe if any team, the Giants or the Jets, right, would probably do something like that.
Deadfish says it's not real. I think, everybody seems to think these are not real too, Tim. So they're in agreement with you. Like to trade back with the Lions, they would trade up 5 spots and give up pick 60, which is in the second round, along with the 4th. So you're saying that feels like it's unrealistic too, right? So yeah. All right, no trade then. We're going no trade, guys, because it does seem a little unrealistic to everybody. All right, so here we are at pick 23. The best on the board is Mike Green, edge defender out of Marshall, Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas, Malachi Stark, safety out of Georgia, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan, and then Nick Emenwore, safety out of South Carolina, Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina, and then we got James Pierce Jr. down there as well. Tim, let me get your thoughts on this little crop right here. I'm going to get my board off to the other side here so I can kind of comb through and see who's the best available.
I'm going to be typically boring as always and tell you my gut is saying Kenneth Grant out of Michigan right here at 23.
Kenneth Grant is 14th on our board. That would be a great quality pick for us right here. Matthew Golden is in the 37 spot, so that's significantly lower. Mike Green is in the 20th spot, so he's below Kenneth Grant. All right. We're not interested in Malachi Starks. We really don't need a safety. Neither do we need Nick Emenwore. James Pierce Jr. is the interesting one. They've got him 25th. Yeah, see, we've got James Pierce Jr. In the 12th spot. So here's the decision it comes down to. Chat, you help us. Tim, you help me kind of keep an eye on the chat here. Yeah. The pick is going to be either James Pierce Jr., edge defender out of Tennessee, or Kenneth Grant, 3-tech out of Michigan. The Packers have had a top 30 visit and met with James Pierce Jr. James Pierce Jr. was a captain on that Tennessee team. Kenneth Grant was not, okay? So just keep that in mind. If we were going strictly off the board, it would be James Pierce Jr. here because he is 1 tier higher than Kenneth Grant. However, Kenneth Grant, we've talked about 3-tech all offseason.
Yeah. We've got like 8 votes for Kenneth Grant in the chat right now.
That's what I'm seeing too here. And again, Mike Green, I would be okay with it if we knew that Goody did his due diligence and the personal issues checked out, right? We've got the purple box because we think there's a little smoke there, So we would probably steer clear unless he felt like the second round. You could risk doing it. So, yeah, it looks like the chat's saying Grant, doesn't it? No, three.
Yeah, for the most part.
Dead Fish, Grant. 3 votes for Grant. There you go. Now there's a bunch. It does seem like it's Grant here. So, all right.
I mean, there is an argument that we can get D-line, in the second or third as well, but I just don't know if we're going to get Kenneth Grant level D-line that far.
Now, if we were to entertain the wide receiver position here, Tim, the best wide receiver available right now on our board is Emeka Egbuka in the 19 spot. Okay. Then it's Luther Burden, Luther Burden's already gone, so scratch that. Matthew Golden's in the 37 spot. Jaden Higgins is in the 48 spot. So Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris is actually in the 50 spot, or the 49 spot. I'm sorry. Jaden Higgins is 48. So those two would be reaches right here, big reaches, to be honest with you. Emeka Egbuka would be the only receiver that would make sense. We know Goody showed a lot of interest in Emeka Egbuka. We would get a bad grade on the mock draft database because they don't have Emeka Egbuka as a suggestion right now. Okay.
Right.
So now you guys know how I feel about that. Throw those grades out the window because we're going off of what I feel like is more important data, the compilation of our entire board. But the chat said Grant, but I just wanted to look at wide receiver. Okay. So we went Grant over James Pierce Jr., right? And I think everybody still thinks Grant over Egbuka. Does everybody agree with that? Do we think Kenneth Grant over Egbuka? Because Egbuka is the only wide receiver I would look at our board and go, yeah, that's the one right there. So
SDN 40. Tim is saying Grant to preserve a Higgins pick at 54. I see you working.
Chess, not checkers, right? So.
You know what? It's true. That is kind of what I was thinking because whether it's Higgins or even Trey Harris there at 54, I'd feel really good about either one of those guys.
Mm-hmm. Greg Rice asked a great question. Who did Cosell love out of those two? Emeka Egbuka, he got the 3-point bonus, okay? And Kenneth Grant, he got a 3-point bonus, so it's a tie. So,
wow.
Yeah. And again, Kenneth Grant is 2 tiers higher on our board than Emeka Egbuka. And we do tiers of 5 points, 5-point increments. So, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think it's Mike Hebring saying Higgins. All right.
I see it.
I think it's Grant, right, boys?
I think it's Grant. I'd love to draft Jaden Higgins right there, but I think it's Kenneth Grant.
Yeah. And Drew D says, I think Grant would pair well with Wyatt. I agree with that because Grant is a much bigger body. And that's someone it feels like you want someone who can play 3-tech, but also if Kenny's gone next year and he's been playing 1-tech, put Kenneth Grant in 1-tech next year. And then when you go to your pass rush downs, both of them can play that 3, right? That 33.
Great point.
There you go. Is Harmon gone? I think Harmon's probably still here. Yeah, Harmon's still here. Harmon is 28th on the consensus big board, and we've got Derek Harmon in the 25 spot. So significantly lower than Kenneth Grant.
Is Walter Nolan there? Just out of curiosity.
Walter Nolan is gone. Isn't it funny all of a sudden?
Yep.
He's flying off the boards now, ain't he, Tim? Telling you, man.
Interesting.
He's a stud, man. He plays with power. Big time power. So, all right. Craig Ross, I hate that Grant is from Michigan, though. That's a valid argument. So, all right, we're going to go Grant here. All right. Somebody asked, Greg Rice said, what quarterback? So let's take a peek at quarterback. Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and then, Will Howard's a pretty big drop-off. So Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe did not go before we picked in this particular draft. So, all right. Let's do this. Let's go Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant it is. I haven't seen anybody other than Mike Hebring scream 54th best pick or 49th best pick, pick 23. So here we go. Kenneth Grant is the pick. Hey, they gave us an A. Imagine that. All right. So we got defensive tackle out of the way, right? And again, I think that sets you up for the future. You go into the trenches. When Kenny moves on next year, if he doesn't want to reduce that cap hit, you're in a pretty good spot there. So going back to Jalen Milroe's still there. So it looks like Jackson Dart did go. So
how many QBs went in the first? Can we scroll back?
Oh, man, I don't know how to do that, Tim, unless we go. Okay. Yeah, unless it won't even let me change there. I'm sure there's a way to see it, but I'm not sure. We'll be able to see it at the end for sure.
Okay.
I think there's a chance Jackson Dart went after we picked, But,
I could see that.
Okay, so now with the 54th pick, we already took a D tackle. I think we're all saying, is Higgins there? Higgins is gone, boys. Gone.
Oh, but look who's not gone.
Trey Harris. Now, Trey Harris is on our board. He was right behind Higgins. Like, if you were to line our board up on draft night, I guarantee you that would be a cluster buster for Brian Gutekunst. You have Jaden Higgins in the 48 spot, Trey Harris in the 49 spot. So you would look at those two guys and go, okay, what's the cluster buster? I would go with our head scout, which is Greg Cosell. He gave a 5-point bonus to Jaden Higgins. I haven't heard him say anything about Trey Harris. It doesn't mean he doesn't like Trey Harris, but he's just not said anything to this point. So Trey Harris would be the pick at wide receiver here for me. There's no two ways about that. It's not even close. Now, what are some of the other needs we have? Corner, right? You got Darian Porter there out of Iowa State. He's 58th on their board. Then it drops off to Jacob Parrish, and it gets thin pretty quick. Yeah. So Darian Porter is quite the drop-off. Let me see where Darian Porter is on our board. Tim, how are you feeling about this right now with Trey Harris? Kind of looks like Trey Harris is the obvious pick here, right?
If we're going receiver, right? If we're going wide receiver here, I would agree. I would say probably Harris, and then I may even just go ahead and take a shot at Jack Bech or something. Or I think we had was Jalen Noel up there too.
Jalen Noel is there as well.
Yep,
he's in the 73 spot, so it's a little bit of a
yeah. But those are the names that pop out to me. But I would agree if we take Trey Harris here if we're going receiver.
Yeah, and Darian Porter, like if we're trying to talk ourselves into cornerback here, Darian Porter is 70th on our big board. The main thing that brung him down is his PFF grade. He was 80th at his position last year. PFF big board had him at 41. The consensus big board had him at 91. Kyle Krabs had him at 46. However, Dane Brugler had him at 99.
Can we take a look at edge here?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, actually. Oh, my God. Landon Jackson.
Jack Sawyer.
Let's see where Landon Jackson is. So Landon Jackson's in the 29 spot on our board here, Tim. Boy, Jordan Birch, I want to say he's somewhere nearby as well. He's definitely not higher. Mykel Williams is already gone. Man, Landon Jackson is hands down the best available of the positions we've looked at so far, man.
One more. How about interior O-line?
Interior O-line. We got Jonas Avenaya. Tate Ratledge is still there. Charles Grant.
Jared Wilson.
Yeah, let me take a look at Charles Grant real quick. I know we've got him fairly – he's in the 69 spot. Tate Ratledge is in the 62 spot. Yeah, none of those make sense. Let's take a look at tackle real quick. You know, we like to kick those inside. Cam Williams is still there.
Wow, Wyatt Malum's still there.
Yeah, Cameron Williams is he's in the 96 spot for us. Wyatt Malum, let's see what we got him real quick. Wyatt Malum is in the 59 spot.
So that's closer.
Yeah, Trapillo's lower. So, yeah, to me, it's either Landon Jackson or Trey Harris. So here's the problem with this, guys. Landon Jackson is significantly higher, no doubt. It's a more important position, in my opinion, than wide receiver. That's tough, man. If they were ranked the same, I'd say, you know what, Trey Harris would be my pick. But the fact that Landon Jackson's up there around first-round status for us on our board, that's tough, man. That's really, really tough. What do you got?
I'm all out of it because we don't have Jaden Higgins on the board anymore. I don't know what to do now. I'm so used to taking him at 54. My gut's telling me Landon Jackson here. What does the chat think here?
Yeah, and Drew D says, I feel like we can get wide receiver in the third round. So, boy, I'm telling you, man, if we go Landon Jackson here, you really like your chances of either Kenneth Grant or Landon Jackson hitting.
Yeah.
You know? And that's going to help the pass rush.
Let's run that COD.
All right, we're going Landon Jackson, man. Chuck said, I changed my mind. Take Jackson. All right, got it. Dead Fish says he wants Harris, but I think we got to take Jack. See, that describes me perfect, Dead Fish.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, boy, I'd love to have Trey Harris at 54. But Landon Jackson's just too good to pass up on, man, for sure. Hey, Mike Hebring with the super chat. Rashawn Gary and LVN need more snaps, not less. It's not going to happen, though, Mike. I agree with you, Bo. I don't want Gary to come off the field, but that's a Matt LaFleur thing, man. Through three different defensive coordinators, they've done that heavy rotation. So we could take we could sit here and say, okay, we don't need an edge defender because we're going to keep Gary and LVN on the field. But I think you and I both agree it's just not going to happen, you know. So imagine Landon Jackson, if you're going to rotate, and we know they're going to rotate, imagine Landon Jackson in there coming off the bench with Brenton Cox Jr., who led the team in pressures, right? So,
Very true.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur in the hockey lines. It's true. So, thank you for the super chat, Mike. I'm with you, man. It's just
Maybe it doesn't mean.
I don't think they're going to listen to us.
We talked about JJ Enagbare, right? One of our kind of favorite dudes, but he has his, ups and downs. That could be a guy that loses snaps, not necessarily Elvian or Rashawn.
Yeah. All right, we're going to stick to the board here, Tim. With the 54th pick, we're getting the 48th best prospect according to them, but I think he's 30 on our board. Landon Jackson. That's an A+.
A+. Let's go.
All right. Moving along here. So we've taken edge, or we've taken defensive tackle, and we've taken edge, right? So this is kind of entering that land of, boy, if we're going to go wide receiver, it better happen soon,
Like right about meow.
Yeah. There's Coach Lynn's boy, Kyle Williams, which is wild because he's so low on our board, but it sounds like he's skyrocketing up everybody's board, Tim. I'm going to stay put, but here's the top receivers available. Savion Williams, Kyle Williams, Ty Felton, Dante Thornton, Isaac Tesla, Pat Bryant. You guys know Pat Bryant was one that really caught our eye because of the drop percentage and his success against man coverage. We've got Pat Bryant in the 126 spot. What do we got Tesla at? Tesla's way down. We got Dante way down. Ty Felton. Where's Ty Felton at?
Can we go back and take a receiver at 54?
Right. Mike Hebring's going, see, you should have reached on Jaden Higgins in the first round. I love it when they mix these up, though, man. I really do. So Pat Bryant is in the 126 spot on our board. I think he's the best that I can see here. Yeah, he's definitely going to be the best on our board.
Where's Nick Nash on our board, if you got it pulled up?
Nick Nash. Let me see here real quick. Nick Nash. Yeah, we got him at 129. So he's just right below Pat Bryant. So Here's the beautiful thing. And I know Drew said, look at taking a wide receiver in the third round. Pat Bryant is highest on our board of these clusters. We should be able to get him at 124, no problem. It's going to look like a bad pick, but of course we could wait till 159.
I was just going to say, can we pull up corner? Maybe we go corner here.
That makes sense, right?
Dorian
Strong. Obi. Let's see what we got here, boys. Let's just poke through. Dorian Strong, 151. Denzel Burke was really interesting hearing Greg Cosell talk about him. He said he thinks he's one of the best corners in the draft. His tape in 2023 was outstanding. I've got him in a 201 spot, and it slapped me right in the face like, man, maybe he is way better. Kobe Bryant is in the 143 spot here. Quincy Riley. So Kobe Bryant, here's what I'm thinking, Tim. Kobe Bryant would pick 124, and then wide receiver would pick 159 between Nick Nash and Pat Bryant. What do you think?
So ideally, that would be great. So who do we go with here then?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Probably O-line, right?
I was just saying maybe we go back to O-line or oh, man. Stackbacker. Have we looked at Stackbacker at all? Don't crucify me in the chat, but I'd just like to see who's on the board.
It just hit me, man. Kobe Bryant probably won't be there at pick 124. It's going to be a reach here according to them. But let's see. It's 121. So maybe 124. Give me just a second, guys. If y'all are wondering what we're doing, this is what you call working the board. You're trying to get all your players you like the most. You're trying to get as many of them as possible and maneuvering on the board to make sure that it falls right where they're projected. So we're going to go wide receiver with pick 159, right, Tim?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Right, so right now, Kobe Bryant would be the top corner for us. And again, it's going to look like one hell of a reach at pick 87, but we're going to look at offensive line, right? So Cam Williams is there. Emory Jones. Where's Emory Jones? Because I feel like he was somewhat higher early, but I could be wrong. 197. So no Logan Brown. He's low. So there's no tackles that grab our attention. Interior.
Chase Lunt.
What's that?
Chase Lunt from UConn.
Was he there?
Yeah. Where's he at on our board? Chase Lunt, right there, 149.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think he is significantly higher for us. Oh, yeah, we get him in the 85 spot.
Okay, so there's a good pick.
So, yeah, it's going to show a bad pick on their side, but who cares, right? Now, let's look at Tate Ratledge. Tate Ratledge is really interesting here. Tate Ratledge, I want to say we're a little lower on. No, we got him. Here it is, Tim. We got Tate Ratledge at 62, bro.
Oh, wow.
And he was a team captain at Georgia.
And this is the guy that played a little center as well, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Team captain meets the threshold, or at least the early thresholds that we dove into. Chat, what do you think? Here's what it comes down to. It's either Tate Ratledge interior offensive line here, or we reach on Kobe Bryant to make sure we get him. That's what it comes down to. Tate Ratledge or Kobe Bryant. What are we thinking here? Drew D says Ratledge. H.E. Soder said take a look at tight end. Let's just look real quick. Damn, there's Arroyo. That's interesting. I just got to take a look here. We're in no hurry, are we, Tim? Elijah Arroyo's in the 64 spot. That would be a good pick here for us. That's another one. So interior offensive line, it comes down to tight end Elijah Arroyo, interior offensive line Tate Ratledge, or reach on cornerback Kobe Bryant, worried that he won't be there at 124. Talk to us, chat. Let us know as soon as possible. Let's see. Ratledge. Packers need a speed edge rusher. We already took an edge. Tate Ratledge, an offensive lineman for the Georgia Bulldogs, stands at 6'6", weighs 320 pounds. Damn. Holmes, Ratledge,
big boy right there.
Arroyo. I can understand it. Kenneth Hammond says tight end. Prince says look at running back. You serious, Prince? You want to take a running back?
He's got to be trolling.
Hope so. Damian Martinez.
Gordon. That's my dude right there, Ollie Gordon.
And Damian Martinez, Greg Cosell laughed when they asked him about him. He's like, this kid is a lot of fun to watch. Like watch for Damian Martinez to be a later round solid player there. So, all right. Going back to edge as requested here, Josiah Stewart. I just don't – if we get another edge, we're not going to have room for him, you know?
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Now I'm second guessing everything and almost wondering, do we go wide receiver here?
Yeah, Josiah Stewart's in that range too at 60, 68. So that wouldn't be a bad pick. There's Jared Ivey there too. I'm trying to remember where we had Jared Ivey. Jared Ivey's actually at 52. So that'd be a solid pick here as well. So I think everybody pretty much said Ratledge, right?
Yep.
Yeah, rat tat tat. All right, we're going to go Tate Ratledge here. Tier offensive lineman from Georgia, another A. Crushed it. All right, let's hope Kobe Bryant is there. And we get to pick 124.
There he is.
He's close. Did he make it? I think he made it, Tim. I think he made it. Boom, there it is. So,
so there's Kobe.
So we're going to get Kobe Bryant here with pick 124. That gives us a little bit of cornerback help. Let's hope Jair's on this team, right? Although that's why you went and got Nate Hobbs, so you wouldn't be in no man's land, just like why you went and got Miko Hardman, so you wouldn't be in no man's land if you didn't get a wide receiver. In both cases, that's where we're at right now.
It's true.
So Goody looking like genius. This will probably look like a bad pick because Denzel Burke is the suggestion here. But yeah, I think Quincy Riley's already gone. Yeah, we actually got him a little bit lower on our board. We're not as high on him. So we're going to go Kobe Bryant here. Another A.
Look at that. They gave us an A. Nice.
Bad. So
all right, let's look at receiver.
See what the scrap heap shows because 159 will be either Pat Bryant, and we're going to let the chat make this pick. Tim, it's going to be Pat Bryant or Nick Nash. Pat Bryant is gone.
Oh, no.
So it's going to be Nick Nash here, right?
Where's Ty Felton on our board?
I think he's significantly lower. Felton is in the 142 spot, all right? Nick Nash is in the 129 spot. And let's see where Jalen Lane is. Jalen Lane's way down the board. All right, so for me, if we're going to take a wide receiver, Nick Nash is the one that makes sense here. We got to do it now or he's going to be gone. Let me just make sure Ricky Watt ain't higher than him on our board. Actually, he is, Tim. Ricky Watt is 119.
Okay.
So we could get Ricky Watt at 198 and kick the can on down the road with wide receiver again.
Mike Hebring jumping in once again to smack us in the face here. See how hard this is if you don't get wide receiver early?
And again, other people will be watching this mock and going, this is not how the draft's going to fall. So there's many people that think you're going to have a kind of the pick of the litter at wide receiver in that second round cluster. So it's weird, man, because we go to PFF and do the mock draft, and people are like, oh, this is unrealistic. Then you go over here, and it's unrealistic, and it's like nobody truly knows how it's going to fall, right? So everybody's asking about Thornton. Thornton's a beast, right, like in terms of physicality and everything. But the problem with Dante Thornton is he's 276 on our board. The reason being is PFF grade in 23. He was 483rd at his position. He jumped all the way up to 58th last year, which is solid. But at the end of the college football season, the PFF big board had him at 220. The consensus big board had him at 307. That's what's brought him down. And I'm not dogging anybody in the chat because I'm as guilty as anybody at this. The reason people love Dont'e Thornton is what he did at the combine. Period. If he hadn't had that awesome combine, no one will be talking about it. You know what I mean? So that's the underwear Olympics we talk about. And believe me, when I see the measurables too, I think, well, that'd be nice right here. That'd be real nice. So here's the question for the chat. Do we take Nick Nash now, knowing that Ricky White is a better prospect, but we could double dip as well? Like we could go Nick Nash and then Ricky White, but then do you have enough room in your wide receiver room? Because that means Malik Heath, Bo Melton, one of those guys are gone, right? So
Deadfish is asking, is Elijah Badger still on the board?
See, that's the thing. Elijah Badger's been going earlier now. He's still there. He'll be there at 295.
So that might be our double dip.
That might be the double dip. You're right.
Or a Rock Taylor. There's a couple names down there.
You're right. if we were to hold up and take Ricky White instead of Nick Nash right here, what would be the pick here, Tim? That's the question, right?
I don't know. I don't know. Prince says Jack gets to make this pick, LOL, as we sit here and decide.
Yeah, exactly. All right, chat, make the pick. Let's go. Who's your pick?
Judy says Nash.
All right, Judy. So we got one for Nash.
We've got I've seen one for Dont'e Thornton here. Jay Cole says Dont'e Thornton.
Prince says Thornton.
So
what about long snapper? Get out of here, Holmes. What the hell's going on? Mike Hebring says Dyke. Dyke is
right there
in the 218 spot. Yeah. Thornton.
Dr. Holmes says Thornton. Another vote for Thornton.
Coach Lynn says he thinks Badger will be gone by the next pick. Harry Cheese says, hey, it looks like it's Thornton. This surprised the heck out of me, man.
Wow. All right.
This will look like a good pick, according to Mock Draft Database. So we may actually tweet this one out. There's people asking about linebacker too, just to make sure. Stutzman is gone.
Settle down, ladies. He's taken.
Yeah. Jack Kaiser would be a solid pick here, but some people think he's undersized. So looks like Thornton ran away with it. We're going Dont'e Thornton here, Tim. Wide receiver out of Tennessee.
Chat's gonna love it.
Yeah, another
I think it's a good pitch. Yep.
Right.
Good pick right there at this point in the draft. So now what's the move at 194?
It's a great question. So now what we've gotten so far is we've taken defensive lineman, like defensive tackle, edge, interior offensive line, cornerback, and wide receiver. So what would be the top need here? There's Jack Kaiser still there staring us in the face, boys.
Wow.
Jack Kaiser, too, on our board, man. He is 103rd now. I've got an article pulled up off to the side, and there'll be people say he's too small, right? Jack Kaiser, I don't have his measurables pulled up, but I want to say he's 6'1", right? Well, guess what? Isaiah McDuffie was 6'1" and 3/8 inches tall, 227 pounds, which is basically Jack Kaiser's size. I want to say he's 6 foot, 6'1", somewhere around that.
PFF's got him at 6'2", but we know that's
not
probably,
true.
That's probably hogwash. Yeah.
So Kaiser would be my pick here, but I want to hear what the chat says. Everybody's saying Nash again. Is that right? So some people.
I was just going to say, I saw Mike Hebring loves Jack Kaiser, by the way, but he did say go wide receiver again. I think there's some validity to that. Like just back to back, grab one now because it's going to get thinner here. Like, can we just look at the receiver board real quick?
Absolutely, man. Nick Nash is there, man.
See, Nash is there.
But Ricky White's higher on our board, so keep that in mind. But you know what I mean? Nick Nash would look like the better pick.
Ricky White might be higher on other people's boards too, and he might not be there at 237.
Yeah. So I feel like it's coming down to Nick Nash, Ricky White, or Jack Kaiser. What does everybody want in the chat? Let us know as quick as possible. Ricky White, Nash, or Jack Kaiser.
Thanks, Mike. Mike says White or Nash.
That's something. Kaiser.
Okay.
Oh, we get a little run on Kaiser.
Let's take the kid from Notre Dame.
Hold up. Nash reads like a Packer. All right, Nash. Kaiser again. This is so close. I can't even. Next one's going to win it, Tim. Nash or Kaiser, guys. Nash or Kaiser. And don't vote twice, you knuckleheads.
Hey,
Nick
fam,
Nolte.
get out of the chat. Hey, fam.
Mike
Mike Evering
Evans
says Nash. We're double dipping.
All right, we're going Nick Nash, boys. West Coast Nash. I like it. All right, Nick Nash is the pick out of San Jose State, wide receiver at pick 198.
Nice.
Jack Kaiser's going to go somewhere and ball out. It's going to break my heart. So that's one of the few times that I found myself going, I want that Notre Dame boy at this pick right here, because I usually talk myself out of him. Kenneth Hammond was just a little bit late with the Kaiser pick. But all right, now what do we do, boys?
D-line
we've got
again.
Jalen Lane, wide receiver, Jai Joyner, Ty Hamilton, Howard Cross the third.
Tight end.
Got a tight end there, Nuke Lachey.
Out of Iowa.
There's
Oronde Gadsden. There's
Gadsden.
a pick. Oronde Gadsden.
Gadsden would be the pick here according to our board. He's 99 on our big board, guys.
Oh, man. Let's get approval from the chat.
Yeah.
Hey, chat,
Would y'all
can we
be
take
okay?
Oronde Gadsden?
Everybody's asking about Badger again. Badger is still there. Badger will be there at 250, it looks like this time. That's wild. I mean, there's a good chance. So, yeah, Gadsden seems like the pick here, man.
Bates says run it.
Yeah.
I do see a couple of valid points bringing up cornerback. Should we just take a glance at corner?
Jabbar Muhammad. Let's see here. Let's take a couple looks here. Jabbar Muhammad. If I can get it to pull up here. Yeah, we've got him. Actually, that's Ron Muhammad. Jabbar. We've got him at 233. That one doesn't make sense.
Jalen Smith. I know we got him higher than 213, right?
Jalen Smith is 211. You were right, Tim.
I guess technically.
Yeah, so none of the corners are really shaking out right now. To me, the slam dunk is tied in. Just looking around some of the interior offensive line, nothing grabs my attention. There's Jalen Travis at tackle. Esapo, we actually met with him.
Yeah.
That's interesting to see him climbing up the boards a little bit. So is anybody opposed to it? We're going to go Gadsden here, I think, man. Still need a linebacker is what Deadfish said. It's a good point. When you look at linebacker, it is thin now, my friends, really thin. Yeah, it's ugly. We missed out on backer. So we double dip.
That's okay. Tyron Hopper's going to be a monster, so we're all good.
I was looking at some of the measurables, man, going through on the Patreon group earlier today, putting an article together on the thresholds, and there was a few of them. I was like, I didn't realize he had that good of an RAS card, Tyron Hopper. So,
yeah.
All right. And Prince makes a good point. We signed 2 linebackers in free agency, right? I mean, it is true. So they may be kind of setting themselves up for that. All right. Yeah. Everybody's mentioning the tight end from Iowa, Lachey.
Yeah.
Lachey, we've gotten the 192 spot. To put that into perspective, here's why he is there. In 2024, there were 178 other tight ends that graded higher than him, according to PFF. The PFF Big Board had him at 176 at the end of the college football season, and the consensus Big Board had him at 132. Now, if we were to compare that to Gadsden, and the reason we like Gadsden so much more, in 2022, Gadsden was the 43rd highest grade tight end. He was injured in 2023, but got completely healthy in 24, where he was the 9th highest graded tight end in all of college football.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just shy of 1,000-yard season.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Gadsden here, boys. Prince says boy band tight ends never work out. Which, Nick Lachey was actually born in the same hospital I was born in. True story.
Oh, wow. Fun fact. I love it.
Back in the sticks. Way back in the sticks. So
there is a part of me that feels a little guilty about not taking the tight end out of Iowa. I mean, it's tight end university, but the stats tell us otherwise, right? I think Gadsden's the pick, man.
Yeah, it feels like it here, man. So I just want to make sure. Yeah, that was right. It was Nick Lachey. I couldn't remember if it was a different boy band, but Nick Lachey was born in the same hospital as me. So, all right, we're doing it. We're going Gadsden. I'm going to override right here and say let's do it. Gadsden is the pick at tight end, so we got us a tight end. I really like that too. You could flex him out wide. We got us some targets when you think about it, Tim. You go Dante Thornton, who's a burner, Nick
Yep.
Nash, who was a solid pick according to our board, and a Rondé Gasson, a top 100 pick on our board, tight end that can flex out a little bit as well. So I kind of like that. I like it. All right. Everybody booed. All right. Let's go.
That means we did something right.
All right. So pick 150. What were we talking about? Was it another receiver? It was, wasn't it?
Corner.
It was Elijah Badger, wasn't it? That would look like a horrible pick here, and we've already taken 2 wide receivers. So you want to see corner, you said, Tim?
Yeah.
Man, they're all still there.
Jalen Smith, they're all still there. All right.
Let me see where Cypress is. It may look ugly with the grade, but yeah, he's way down. Yeah, we don't have anybody. There's Brandon Adams. Where's Brandon Adams? I don't even think we got Brandon Adams on our board. We ain't got him on our board. It's not a good sign. So yeah, we're done with corner pretty much. Linebacker, nothing really there. Wide receiver, it would be Elijah Badger if we went that route. Clay Webb. There's Marcus Weir. Yeah, I want to say he has dropped since we started this process. Let's see here. WEHR. Yeah, he's in the 206 spot. Wouldn't be a horrible pick. Drew Kendall.
We're crowded on that interior O line though.
We really are. You're right. Let me just look
at the O line. I'd go tackle here.
Try to shore it up on the edge, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, it's saying Jalen Travis would be a suggested pick, but I think he's lower. Yeah, he's in the 222 spot.
Still on the board. Wow.
Jack Nelson's 148 on our board, boys.
There's a guy
out of Wisconsin.
I don't think any Badger fans would be upset if we took him.
I don't either. There's Essapole again. That's interesting. Jack Nelson will be a solid pick here for us at pick 250. I mean, you're getting him 100 spots higher than or 100 spots lower than it's showing him on the board. I think that would be my pick here. It'd be either him or Elijah Badger, and we've already gotten 2 receivers. So I think I would go Wisconsin Badger, Jack Nelson here, boys.
Yeah, I'm between Pohl and Nelson here. I think leaning towards Nelson.
Yeah, and I want to say Essapole is he's way down the list for us. I know the Packers met with him and they like him, but we got him at 353. I kind of see him as, at that top 30 visit, maybe as one of those undrafted free agents that the Packers like to do top 30 visits with.
Doc says Nelson. Drew D says Nelson.
Yeah, everybody's on board with the Badger. I'm with you, man. Let's do it for all of our Wisconsin listeners out there. We're going to go Jack Nelson, offensive tackle. A+.
Holy cow, look at that. What's our GPA on this one?
Yeah, this is pretty good, man. Nick Nash is the only one that hurt,
Yeah.
Really is. So,
and I don't feel bad about that at all. I still think it's a good pick.
Not at all. All right, let's do a quick recap, gang. This is your Green Bay Packers mock draft 7-round. We got pick 23. We went defensive tackle Kenneth Grant. Pick 54, we went edge defender Landon Jackson. I really like that Landon Jackson pick. I do. Pick 87, Tate Ratledge, interior offensive lineman out of Georgia. Pick 124, we went Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Kansas. Pick 159, we went Dante Thornton, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Pick 198, Nick Nash, wide receiver, San Jose State. Pick 237, Rondé Gasson, the second tight end out of Syracuse. And pick 250, Jack Nelson, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. I really like that. Now, let's Tim, you were asking about first-round quarterbacks, and we'll wrap this big bear up. Shedeur Sanders went number 1. Jalen Walker went number 2. Of course, the Browns would screw that up. Number 3 is another quarterback in Cam Ward. Then number 4, Will Campbell, offensive tackle to LSU, or to the Patriots out of LSU. Mason Graham fell all the way to 5th to the Jaguars. Jahdae Barron went 6th.
Wow.
Well, he is skyrocketing up boards. Armand Membo went to the Jets. Shamar Stewart went 8th to the Panthers. Abdul Carter fell all the way down to 9th with the Saints. Travis Hunter went to the Bears. Michael Williams went 11th to the 49ers. Ted McMillan has been going to the Cowboys every mock draft, hasn't he? Ashton Gianti goes 13th to the Dolphins. Colston Loveland goes 14th to the Colts. Jahad Campbell 15th to the Falcons. Kelvin Banks 16th to the Cardinals. Walter Nolan went 17th to the Bengals. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, goes 18th to the Seahawks. Ty Warren, tight end out of Penn State, goes 19th to the Buccaneers. Hold up a minute. Is Ty Warren being mocked lower than Colston Loveland?
Did they just flip?
That's interesting. keep an eye on that, guys. There might be something there. Luther Burden, wide receiver, goes to the Broncos at 20. Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky, cornerback, goes 21 to the Steelers. Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan with that injury, falls all the way down to 22 to the Chargers. Kenneth Grant was our pick, obviously, at 23. Donovan Jackson, interior offensive lineman, to the Vikings at 24. Derek Harmon goes 25 to the Texans. Trey Amos, cornerback, goes to the LA Rams at 26. Nick Emenware goes 27 to the Ravens. Mike Green falls all the way to the Detroit Lions. That's exactly where he belongs. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, goes to the Commanders at 29. James Pierce Jr. goes to the Bills at 30. That'd be a nice little Von Miller replacement. Malik Stark, safety out of Georgia, goes 31 to the Chiefs. And Gray Zabel goes 32.
So we said 4 or 5 quarterbacks earlier in the show.
Right?
We got 2 off
we
the
get
board.
2. That's 2, right? Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, man, this is – now imagine –
you see how it affected our draft too, right? You see how this board ended up falling.
Last thing we'll do here. We're picking 23rd. Imagine 2 quarterbacks go before us. And let's say this still falls in place as it has. That means we would have also been able to choose between Will Johnson and Maxwell Harrison.
Yep.
That makes sense. So we'll see. See how it goes. Yeah, no doubt. Mike says, watch Mike Green be a perennial superstar in Detroit. Mike Green, listen. Mike Green, in my opinion, is I wouldn't put him above healthy Abdul Carter, but he's probably second if I remember correctly, Tim. I want to say he's second on our board in edge defender. Abdul Carter's the top edge defender. Then James Pierce Jr. Actually, he's dropped a little bit. James Pierce Jr., then Shamar Stewart, then Mike Green. But Mike Green led college football in sacks, right? It's just that off the field stuff that's why he fell so far. And if he keeps his nose clean, unfortunately, I could see him doing exactly what Mike Hebring just said, man.
Where did Ezraku go? As long as we're talking about edge,
he did not go in the first round.
Wow.
So Ezraku went 40.
Oh, the Bears! Oh no, we can't have that.
Suck, dude. So they got Travis Hunter, right? Cornerback / wide receiver. They got Omarion Hampton, running back, and they got Ezraku at edge.
Burn this draft to the ground. Delete this. Do not save this.
There you go. So in terms of quarterback, Jackson Dart went 45 to the Colts. Where did Jalen Milroe go? He's got to be close here somewhere, right? Jalen Milroe went to the Lions. Let's see where the next quarterback went. Where are you at, sir? The next QB would be way down the list, huh?
Wow.
And I mean way down the list. Will Howard to the Lions. They took 2 quarterbacks.
Oh, man. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Something ain't right with this draft.
Yeah. That's it. We're out.
AFAM's in here messing around with the draft.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. There you go. Chris Casual in all caps. He's screaming. You want to scream it for me, Tim?
Donovan Ezraku only had 1 less sack than Mike Green. Amen. Say it as loud as you can.
There you go. All right. That's it, boys. That was a fun draft. Appreciate y'all recommending it. If you didn't like it, blame Chris. It was his idea, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't it, Chris? It was Chris.
Yes, sir.
I think it was Chris. So, again, thanks for the super chats, guys. United Bates, appreciate you, buddy. That was a fun breakdown, man. Thanks for the good idea. Chris with the super chat, triggering the mock draft. Mike Hebring with the super chats here as well. We appreciate you guys. So, again, scan the QR code in the upper right. Join our Patreon group. It's growing like crazy. We're trying to put more and more content out for you guys. I'm going to get a couple more Chalk Talk episodes uploaded. So, you guys just go to the collections tab, click on Chalk Talks, and you got them in order, I think, weeks 1 through 7 or 8 now. And you can go back and watch that full episode where we broke down. And here's the other thing. You can fast forward through the first 20 or 30 minutes of the show to get to the film breakdown. We just kind of talk about leading up to it. So that's the beautiful thing, too, about having that link in there. You can just jump right in there and watch it. So just another perk to being in the Patreon group. Again, I already reached out, sent a DM. I haven't heard back yet. Jake G126, you won the autograph Javon Bullard rookie card. Michael Godfrey was gifted the autographed Mason Crosby card. It was won by Chewy. Chewy had already won a contest. He said, hey, give it to the second place. So I'm looking for Michael Godfrey. And then this Saturday, everyone who's a member of our Patreon group, just the $3 tier, we're going to be giving away an autographed rookie card of Katan Oladapo. These were all donated by Jazambi. So that'll be the next giveaway. We've also got a Sean Ryan and a Bo Melton coming up. So again, make sure you're a member of the Patreon group by Saturday or by midnight Friday night, and then we're going to give that away on Saturday. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Tim, thank you, man. I know we went long. Appreciate you hanging out, bro.
Oh, this was great. Thanks for having me, Clay.